Welcome. We're going to continue Hilchos Shabbos. I think this is the fourth class in Hilchos Shabbos. We are on Siman Reish Nun in the sefer that we're using, Kitzur Hilchos Shabbos from the Alter Rebbe, page Samach Aleph. I just want to discuss part of what we spoke about yesterday. We were having this discussion about having a non-Jew do work for you, and that led to, can you have him send mail for you? And in addition to that, what happens if you're ordering things online? For example, you're ordering from Amazon. And the general principle is that if it's not coming, it doesn't have to come on Shabbos, you're not requesting it for Shabbos, then it's fine because you set a price before. He's doing it for himself or for whoever he works for. It's not for you. And the fact that it happens to come on Shabbos is not your problem. The issue that we have is with Amazon today, for example, and it's Amazon Prime, and a big plus of their pitch is that we're going to deliver for you next day or in 2 days. You're going to get it on Shabbos. They're priding themselves with that, and you know that's going to happen, so much so that they tell you if you don't click before this hour, you're not getting it that day. So you click on it, and it's reliable, it's consistent, and people are making decisions based on that. Does that have any impact? It's not just, I threw it in the mailbox. Sometimes it comes in 2 days, sometimes it comes in 5 days, sometimes it doesn't come. But the idea is that you're going to get it. So let's go back to the principle of why is it a problem to ask a guy to do malacha for you? There's three things. Number one, we said that when you make him as a shliach from you, we're machmir, because there's two ways to look at shluchei shel adam k'meisei, and in this case we look at it l'chumra. We're more strict about it. And when you tell a guy to do something for you, he's becoming like you, and it's as if you're doing it as your representative. So you can't tell a guy to do it. In general, malacha. The second thing we said was, Torah says, kol malacha lo ye'aseh, it should not be done. So not only if he's not just if he's your shliach, that's a problem, but the fact that it's being done for you, and as a result of you, that it's also a problem. Again, it's not the Iraisa, but it's a smach from a pasuk. It says lo ye'aseh. And lastly is maras ayin. The perception that lastly is it shouldn't be kal in your eyes. That if you start telling goyim to do things for you, this becomes your carte blanche. Whenever you need to do something, you just ask him to do it, and over time, Chazal say we're going to lose the sensitivity to Shabbos. Okay. Keeping those three things in mind, when does this prohibition apply? When I tell someone when I order something online, and I'm telling him I need this, and today is Friday morning, I know that according to their rules, I'm not getting it before tomorrow. And I'm a Prime member, and this product is going to come tomorrow. It's allowed for two main reasons. Number one, I didn't specify that it can't come today. So if he wants to send it to me today, I know he won't, but it doesn't go into the category of me asking him to do it on my behalf tomorrow. Do it on my behalf today. Maras Ayin is not here, which is another component, because he brings in one of the sources that the concept of Maras Ayin applies even if it's b'chadrei chadarim, right? Even if no one sees. If you're afraid or you're concerned, someone else may get the wrong impression, we're still concerned about it. But it does matter by Hilchos Shabbos, medina lemedina. So Maras Ayin means that someone's going to think you're allowed to hire a guy on Shabbos. As long as you're not doing it, you're fine. In which cases do they assume that? In certain countries, it's unheard of to get a package, Amazon, relatively recent. In some countries, it wasn't a common thing. In the U.S., it was very common. Everyone has boxes by their front doors. People are taking them, unfortunately, and there's issues. So you know that if it's dropped off, I didn't ask you to bring it to me tomorrow. I didn't pay next day delivery because I wanted it. And back in the day, when do you get a next day delivery? You really needed it. You paid for it. You asked for it. It arrived. So Maras Ayin in this context does change. And in our example of Amazon, it's not Maras Ayin that a package came to my house. Oh, that means you're allowed to order things for next day, because I could have ordered it on Thursday and it came on Shabbos. I could have ordered it yesterday, and there's so many other scenarios, and it's so common to get it that I'm not specifically requesting them to do it. But Amazon, interestingly enough, I saw a write-up from a Rav that Amazon is different than other what's it called? retailers. Because Amazon has so many warehouses around the country strategically placed with the goal to be able to provide for you that package sooner, you could rely lechatchila that if they wanted to bring it to me today, they have between all of their, for the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, wherever I am, it's possible to get it for me. I don't know exactly which warehouse it's in, but right. So I don't know where it is, but in theory, again, the issue is that you're almost forcing the person. It's like a distance. He can't get it to you at that time. It's not shaykh. So then you have that. You're basically telling him do it for me, and he's doing it for you. There's still ways to be lenient because you're paying for the project, and you could bring it tomorrow night. There's a few ways to deal with it. But even from a very lechatchila standpoint, Amazon is going to bring it tomorrow. Could they bring it today? Fine. I was not kaitzitz with him that I do not want it before Shabbos. Now, if I order it from a place that's not like Amazon, it doesn't have, it's a particular part that I needed. There's one provider that does it. He's in California. I'm ordering it Friday, an hour before Shabbos. I need it tomorrow night. I'm paying to get it next day. It's going to be delivered sometime between 10 a.m. and, I don't know, let's say it's in the summer, between 6 p.m. I'm paying for it to arrive on Shabbos. It's not okay. But he says, even then, there's Rav Peskim, or there are many Peskim that say that it's okay. So if you need to, and this he brought here from in the footnotes, that if it's Seirach Gadol, you're allowed to. So in summary, Amazon, you could order regularly. Your issue becomes, if you really need it tomorrow and you're ordering it late on Friday, you should think about it twice and see, where's it coming from, and do I really need it? And should that be my way of ordering things l'chatchila? But very often, today's day and age, you're just ordering stuff, and it comes a day earlier, a day later. It's not the end of the world, and they could bring it before. So it's generally speaking, the answer is it's okay. Just like we say regarding mail, you put it in the mailbox, wherever it goes, it goes. There's a story in Gemara, Masechta Shabbos, with a yid named Yaisi. And this Yaisi, he was a very, very wealthy man, and very well respected by the local neighbors, and Jews and non-Jews alike. They really respected him. And one day, a fire broke out, one Shabbos, broke out in his yard, in a big field, and the flames were getting very big, and it was a matter of time before it burns his house down to the ground. They lose tremendous amount of wealth. And he wasn't doing anything. It was Shabbos. There were Roman soldiers not far away, and they saw big flames. They said, this must be Yasi's house. So they ran, a whole group of them, and they said, let's take it out. And they were about to extinguish it, and Yasi came and said, why are you here? Who called you? And why are we here? It's self-evident. There's a fire. We're going to take it out. You're going to lose money. We know that you're a yid, and we know that you're careful about your laws. And even if it costs you money, you're not going to do it. We're here to do it for you. So Yasi said, no, don't do it. I don't allow you. It's Shabbos. I don't do it. I don't want anyone else to do it. Which you are allowed to have a guy do it for you. And everything got he stopped them. The moment they walked away, it got very dark, and it started to pour buckets. It was raining and raining and raining, and the fire was extinguished. And they didn't need anyone to extinguish it. It was saved. The fire was gone. It was a big fire. It was a heavy rain, and the fire was extinguished. And they told him, oh, you're a very holy man. We see that you're, because you needed something, it turns, heaven brought rain for you. Chazal saying Gemara over there that it's a shame that Yasi didn't know the halacha. Halacha is you can't ask a guy to do it for you, but you also do not stop him. If a fire department comes, because someone, heaven forbid, has a fire in their house on Shabbos, and the fire department comes and starts to extinguish it, it's not just you're allowed to, you don't tell them stop. Now, if it's a matter of life and death, like someone's inside, and potentially even if there's neighbors in the next house, so calling is a different story. You have to get them out to save a life. But if no one's in the house, it's a warehouse. No one's there today. It's merchandise, it's wealth, it's finance, it's possessions that are being lost. You can't call on Shabbos. But if they come on their own or someone called them and they want to extinguish it, you don't stop them. And the Gemara says over there, because he didn't know the halacha, he caused Hashem to need to, so to speak, bring a nes, even though it's not necessary. In other words, you could have managed without a miracle. Just an interesting thing. It's good to be machmer. It's also important to know what is halacha, and when it's good to be careful, and when it's extra, and so on. In this case, I do, however, want to say that If you know it's coming tomorrow and you're not comfortable, you don't have to order it for tomorrow. You could order it on Thursday. You don't always have to order Friday afternoon. Anyway, let's continue with our learning, Siman Reish Nun. So we spoke about, okay. We were discussing about not appearing to someone's house in without notice, and therefore don't travel great distances on Shabbos, because you'll show up, whether it's your own house or a friend's house, and they're not going to have Shabbos provisions for you. We said, though, if they know that you're coming, it's fine. In today's day and age, because most people, when they prepare for Shabbos, they have some extra food. If one person shows up, it's not going to change your Shabbos nor theirs. Kviyas Suda B'Erev Shabbos, page Nun Ches. B'Erev Shabbos on Friday, afilu b'Beiker asur l'kviyas Suda Gedela Shal Mishtash Einei Ragil Bo. It's forbidden to set a meal on Friday, a meal that doesn't usually have. Let's assume that you don't usually wash for your breakfast. You don't usually wash for your lunch. Even in the morning, you can't decide, I want to have a feast today. If it's not common for you, why? Because now you're going to eat a lot more and drink a lot more than you normally used to. You're going to be stuffed. And when Friday night comes and it's Shabbos, you're not going to enjoy the Shabbos meal properly because you're full. Now, if you're a person that eats 3 meals a day, big meals and so on, and you always wash for your meals, it's normal. Supper comes, you're going to eat again. Friday night, you may even be eating later than usual. So you don't have that issue. Sudas mitzvah is mana hayom, kigayin sudas milo, sudas pidyon ben. But if it's a sudas mitzvah, which the time of it is today, for example, it's a bris or a pidyon ben, which it's on the 30th day if it's a pidyon ben, or a bris on the 8th day, or whenever it ends up being. Then we don't say, I don't want to eat today because I want to have an appetite, I want to be hungry tonight. It's a mitzvah to have that meal, and you have it. It's also so this mitzvah, and therefore it's fine. He will mention later this concept of coming to Shabbos with a te'oven, with an appetite, it's a minor thing, relatively speaking. We're not going to push off. You can't push off. So this mitzvah, for that element of the Shabbos, you should be a little bit hungry when Shabbos comes. So if the bris is on Friday and you don't usually have a big lunch or whatever, you could still do it. However, you should start the meal before the 10th hour. And this is Shoyz Maniyes. So the way we calculate Shoyz Maniyes briefly is that every day during the daytime you have to have 12 hours. In the winter, there's very little sunlight. You don't have 12 full hours necessarily of sunlight. If it gets light at 7 a.m., it gets dark at 4:30, you don't have 7 hours. So what we do is we divide. You don't have 12 hours. Yeah. So what we do is we divide all the minutes into 12 chunks. So instead of having 60-minute hours, we'll have 40-minute hours or whatever. And this way there's 12 sections of hours. And for halachic time, it's like what time, what's the latest you could say Shema? Or latest you could daven, 3rd, 4th, 5th hour, etc. When Chatzai says it goes by, Chatzai is a little bit easier, but it goes by the Shoyz Maniyes based on these minutes. So the 10th hour, it's better, even though it's Sudas Mitzvah, and there's a heter, because more than a heter, you have to. Don't make your Sudas Mitzvah 3 p.m. It's also good that in this meal, which is a bris, and it's a big meal, only a minyan, besides those that are connected to the event. Okay, it's family, it's relatives. In other places in halacha, he brings, if you wouldn't have normally went to this bris, but you decided, because it's Friday and this is my way to be able to eat, because even though it's Shabbos tonight, if you're connected to this bris, or if you would just stop in and say Mazel Tov, or if you're going to sit down for the whole meal and so on. So it's Hainu and not what you're saying. Wow. Okay, this is even more than that. Yeah. Okay, let me go back. I want to delete the thing that I said. he says, what does he mean relatives? He's not playing around. I'm a fourth cousin somewhere, and therefore I'm connected. Presumably, this means a brother, a son, a parent, brother-in-law, also, where you would not be valid to testify when it comes to court because you're related, right? Or through marriage. Point is that even though it is allowed, because this mitzvah, if it's Friday, it's really only for those that are connected to this somehow to the family. They're involved with it. They're related. So there's midlag by a bris, a male vasandik. And by a bris, the male, the sandik, those that are directly involved in the bris, they could also have the meal. Suda ktana. What about a small meal, like a snack, or a little more than a snack? Suda ktana she'ena shel mishtesh ragab b'meisachil. If you have a small meal, which is not a whole feast, which is common for you during the week, min hadin muter le'achla b'chol hayom afilu samach lachashecha. You could have it even close to shkia. Let's say you have this custom that you have, whatever. It's a regular meal for you. Even if it's close to getting dark outside, it's fine. You're still allowed to do it because it's not going to impact your eating tonight. Nonetheless, it's better if you could not do it late, so that you come to Shabbos and you have an appetite for the meal. It's a mitzvah to enjoy. It's a mitzvah to have it. So you shouldn't stuff yourself right before. Okay, we're going to stop for Ma'ariv now, and hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, next time we learn, we'll talk more in detail about this. Thank you.